What's up, dudes and dudettes? My name's Scythe, and we are back. You have another Trove. I got you there, didn't I? What we're gonna be doing today, ladies and germs of the internet, is taking a look at Team Pixel 1. Now, I do want to point this out because lots of people keep getting confused. It's just Team Pixel. I just call it Team Pixel 1 because there's actually a troll club going around that's actually called Team Pixel, and then it has a number 1. Don't fall for that booby trap. It's not me. So anyways, what we're gonna be doing today is just, I'm just gonna kind of show you all what I've been working on, because I actually spent like 2 days kind of terraforming the entirety of Team Pixel, at least most of it for the most part. First of all, I ended up moving our fishing down here instead of being over here in the Candyland, because you're gonna notice right here, over all the older videos, I've changed Candyland a whole lot. Like, seriously, so many stuff, like so much stuff has actually changed. Over here is the graveyard for all the old dead players. We got a grave for Scythe, we got a grave for Red Atlas, who's gone. We got a grave for Kiera, question mark, because she's still kind of around but also not. I don't know. Unicorn, that's why it's a question mark. Okay, I think we got one for King Andrew. Oh, he's back from the dead. Okay. So anyway, I ended up putting this little water wheel house over here. You actually cannot get inside it. I just kind of wanted to experiment with a different type of house, just kind of make it small and cozy. I'm noticing a couple things that I should actually change about, but I'll do that later. I tried doing the double roof over to see if that would work, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out. The Unfriendly Lion ended up building this house right up here, so I left the hill intact. However, I just went through all this, just kind of like, this was all bumpy and rocky terrain and stuff, so I flattened the whole land out, and it looks like somebody else is already getting on building, which is good because I want a candy town here. That's Comments Cove right over there. That is where we end up having the top comments of the day, which we're gonna end up having one for today's video, but we'll do that later at the end. Otherwise, I ended up adding these bridges, these paths. Looks like somebody ended up adding a little bit of a stream here, or fixing it up so they could put another island. I don't know. There was a house right over here a billion years ago. I'm gonna have to clear out this floor right here. Over there is pretty much all the same old stuff. There's been a new set of builds over there that's kind of seems to be becoming like the architect area, I guess you could say, the Dragon Hills, so you can check out the builds yourself, because otherwise we're just gonna head over in the other direction, because I didn't really go over there so much yet with my terraforming. I kind of just focused on this side, which, as you're gonna notice, there was a bunch of trees and stuff that was just floating up there that I took care of. I also finally finished these sails, although this ship is not mine, so it's not really ideal. I just kind of threw them together based on like how I thought they were being designed. I don't really know, but otherwise I was just experimenting with lots of stuff. I tried to see if I could get like grass blocks over here, but unfortunately it would take like a very long time. This cave right here, which goes to the Pirate Cove, which also connects with the comment section, which the comment section right here, I don't think I showed this on camera. I actually have numbered and counting properly now, so it actually like, so that people have a better understanding of how it's actually supposed to be. So it's like the first one right here, you go right then left, second one right then left, rather than going all the way on the right side and then all the way on the left, or something really confusing like that. Now anyway, I ended up going into Pirate Cove, changing a little bit of stuff, not really that much, honestly. I guess we should go this direction and then we'll kind of swing back around. I cleaned up a lot of stuff up here in Snakeshot's town that he built like a zillion years ago. He's another guy who I guess I should put a graveyard for him. But I was just kind of fixing things up, changing the, like I used to use like primal green and just kind of cut corners and stuff like that. So I've been going through the club, kind of cleaning things up, making sure that there's like at least 2 blocks, so that you can see builds, and just kind of clearing things up, fixing it all up so that it's actually proper grass blocks rather than so that it actually fits properly. Like you're gonna see right there, a little bit of an imperfection that we just found. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to do this while everybody is in my way. Good, we got it. Great, grand. I didn't end up fixing, like you can see right in here, it's kind of a bit of a mess. I didn't really fix any of that stuff yet. I'm planning to kind of go through that later and kind of touch up some of the builds, while also being careful because I don't want to change the builds, because they're kind of like a staple hold, but otherwise I'm seeing like right here, like the castle, the way it's designed. I should probably end up bringing this hill up here changing a couple other things and stuff. As you're gonna notice right down here, I changed a whole ton of the area. Like, all of this used to be a big hill. This area didn't even exist, so I ended up bringing the, I've made this island right here, brought the stream out, so it's a huge waterfall on that side, just added the bridges, and finally added the proper pathway that covers all of this area and goes back into Tiny Town. This is a new biome up here, which was very glitchy. Joe actually has a video of how glitchy it was. I see a house up there. I want to check that out real soon. Then, unfortunately, this biome ended up messing around with this Fey biome, so you're going to see this floaty tree that I'm probably going to have to delete later. There was also a man-made big tree, which I never knew actually had stuff inside the tree until it was actually destroyed. That's when I actually found out there was stuff in there. So whose house is this? Because I actually really like the design of this. This definitely looks like it's Unfriendly Lion, because he likes to build stuff like this, but it may be somebody else. It may be a different architect. I'm not sure. There's no label around it, so I can't really say. It's a cool house, though. I like it. It's kind of like, you know, a master's house that's like way out in the middle of nowhere or something. Now, the most tedious thing, again, was just most of the terraforming, because that was the biggest thing I changed. Like, I changed this, so this is kind of like a Lion Pride rock right here. There was huge hills and stuff like that all here. Rocks, annoying boulders and stuff, and you can kind of see I haven't even had the time to come over here with everybody to let all the grass end up filling in and growing in and stuff like that. Just kind of touching up this hillside a little bit, touched up this area, kind of bringing it all open and a little bit stuff like that. I'm definitely going to have to go through all this and actually plant like grass and flowers everywhere, so that's going to be very tedious, but little touches like that are always the last thing that I try to do. I ended up adding this cave right here, like a cave entrance into the Doge Fortress. There is also this river down here, which I haven't had time to construct, but I wanted to make it go over into the Doge Fortress, which it kind of seems to right now. But I also wanted to make this kind of a river or a path. We're getting so much lag right now. Seriously, the game's ridiculous. But I wanted to change it so that this was going to be like a proper river that kind of goes out here and, you know, ends up having like a little bit of a waterfall. As I was kind of terraforming stuff, I ended up finding a secret over here. This was one of my spots right here where there's these huge gaps that generate sometimes. Like, this undead biome is like so weird and messed up. I don't know who put that up there. But it's like there'll be these huge like crevices just in the world. And so I'm kind of going through band-aiding it up. Also, cliches over here, which if you watch just cliches, I made this biome architect again. I didn't know you were building stuff over here, dude. Anyway, I really like this build down here. You can check it out for yourself. Just in the undead biome down at the bottom. Otherwise, if we come back around here, like, you can kind of see this terrain is very, very messy and too messy for me to actually fix the entirety of it. I'm hoping that people end up actually building down here on the undead, but it's purple, so it's a little bit tedious. As you can see right here, I kind of cleared this out, so it's a little bit of a platform area, because I'm hoping that if somebody else doesn't beat me to it, this well right here, which goes down into the secret Doge Mercenary Fortress, I want to build a town kind of around it so that the well is a little less suspicious, you know? Otherwise, just this hill, stuff like that. I ended up constructing, this is going to be farmlands over here, because I've always wanted to experiment and see how good or bad a field of grass ends up looking, which it looks okay. But unfortunately, like, there was a prop item during like the summer hub or the spring hub or whatever it was. They actually had a wheat prop and it was beautiful, but unfortunately it's one of the many props that for some very weird reason they don't actually have as a craftable recipe in the game, which is okay because unfortunately it being a prop item, you can't walk through it like you can walk through the grass, so you would actually just stand on top of it. However, it would have actually looked really cool, but I don't know if grass takes less CPU than the props do. I'm not exactly sure. Otherwise, just lots of stuff. Like, this bridge actually didn't even exist, so I fixed it up, kind of opened this area up. I also want to have like a better way of actually getting up to Exiled Ace's gigantic flying ship. I was experimenting with changing all, like, here's another prime area where I have all the primal green. I wanted to change this into grass, but unfortunately with the way that Trove is coded, this thing's blocking out the sun, and because of that, grass can't grow. And by grass, I mean the organic dirt block turning into a proper green rather than just focusing on primal green. You're gonna notice right over here, it's a very unfortunate event, but you're gonna see like this gross pink that sticks out like a sore thumb right here is because, as you're gonna notice its shape, what does it look like? Bowser. Of course it looks like the Sky Whale Bowser. Yes, definitely does. So, unfortunately, that is one of the many things that I am not able to touch up, especially like this spot right here I wanted to fix up. I'm probably going to have to bury this primal green with a house or something like that. I don't know, we'll see. And for the most part, that's all that I've actually covered so far. The next areas that I do have to cover once I actually end up finding the time is I gotta go over there into that area, kind of clear up the landscape, and I'm kind of just doing that with Team Pixel 1. I'm hoping to eventually do it with the other Team Pixels, but they're a very low priority because Team Pixel 1 is still, I mean, it's the main Team Pixel, man. So I put all of my effort into it, and all the other clubs kind of have like more builders and other officers that focus on them. Like Team Pixel 3 actually seems to be the architects club. It's got so many different builds and stuff like that. Also, you're gonna notice that candy biome right at the top right there. Someone else is constructing, I think it was Mega, is constructing a little candy town. And otherwise, I stopped building because I pretty much spent 2 days doing all of that because all the landscaping takes so long in this game because the building tools are very inadequate, but it's okay, it all works anyway. I need to fix up the grass over here and stuff like that too, and finish up that dojo that ended up getting deconstructed when we added the other ice biome. But stuff like that, I don't really have that much time for anymore, just because, you know, I kind of like, I'm very good at time management, if I do say so myself. Like, half the time when I'm actually on and doing stuff and grinding and stuff, I actually consider it working because I do it so that I can make these videos even better. So I'm going through the club and stuff like that so I can make it prettier, make it a little bit more desirable than being as much of a mess, and just kind of stepping it up to a 2.0, I guess you could say. So I got a lot of work to do. However, right now I'm actually focusing on grinding up my Firmicite and most of all my Infinium because I'm planning to make another PvP arena sometime soon, but we'll talk about that another time. As for right now, let's go grab the comment of the day, and then I also need to talk about a little bit of, just because we're kind of breaking roleplay here, some of the lore that's been going on with our Trove story, you know, with the pinatas and the Kigurumi and stuff. The special comment of today is a question that I get a lot of people always asking, so I wanted to actually take the opportunity to answer it today. Do you recommend the Radiant pack, or should I stick with the Collector's pack by Ian Reina? Now, I am actually very against the Radiant pack, only because not only is it just extremely expensive, it is a ripoff even as far as in-game goes, because if you know what you're doing, you can actually end up getting yourself Radiant gear in a day, you know, or at least in a week. And personally, I think that there are a lot better things that you can spend your money on than the Radiant pack, especially considering, yes, the Collector's pack actually gives you a ton of mastery, so I would definitely recommend sticking with that over Radiant because it's $30 for one piece of Radiant equipment. One, not three. One. So maybe if they would lower that down to $10, I would definitely recommend it. Or if it gave you enough gear and stuff so that you could get yourself 3 sets of Radiant, maybe then I would recommend it. But otherwise, honestly, stay away from the Radiant pack. It's a jip. Now, before we call today's episode, because it is going to be a little bit of a longer one, we need to talk about this. Lord Scythe is dead. He has been added to the graveyard. He's not actually dead. Like, everybody seemed to, for some reason, think King Andrew like I was serious and actually like putting his tombstone in the game, which is extremely disrespectful. I would never do anything like that, seriously. But Scythe, for all intents and purposes, has quit, even though I still talk with him and a lot of the other officers still talk with him. He kind of still does things in Trove and hangs out, but he kind of got tired of the crowd. He always had been kind of tired of the crowd. So the way that we're spinning it, because Scythe and I talked about this, and it was actually a plan all along, wise guy, is we kind of knew that he was going to be leaving for a while, so I had this plan all along, that in our lore, let's consider it this way. So it's like Scythe and me are kind of like Vegeta and Goku. We always kind of had a rivalry while also being really good friends, right? So what ended up happening in roleplay is, like I ended up putting here, he was actually killed by the Doge mercenaries 1 vs 100. He was the one, they were the 100. He was number 1. I don't know what that is. Everyone keeps saying that everywhere. It's weird. I didn't put that there. But anyway, so the role play that ended up happening is him and me actually were like talking on like a cliffside or something like that, some type of epic thing. And then we actually were both ended up attacked by the Doge mercenaries as we were talking about the Doge mercenaries getting out of hand and the hot dog or Kigurumi and Pinata alliance that I've been working on behind the scenes. And needless to say, things ended up going really south because there were so many of them, and Scythe ended up sacrificing himself a la Aragorn, falling off a cliff to save this guy, and maybe he'll come back. I don't know. He just kind of went missing. We never really found his body or anything, so who really knows? But it ended up making a huge turn in the plot because now the Pinata Assassins and the Kigurumi are teamed up. We're actually both teamed up against the Doge mercenaries because they are all-powerful mostly because of their numbers, and they are relentless in their lust for money that they're getting from the evil chickens. So you're gonna notice right up here in TP1, we actually have the Pinata Assassins Club World Portal here. I was gonna say poodle. We actually have it here instead of, like, we had a couple other type of clubs just kind of to sustain it, but the point being is that now we can actually push this club in the lore as being, you know, a part of like our community and everything like that. So we've got all this beautifulness in here. You can always check out the club for yourself because I'm not really gonna go over everything, but otherwise we went through it. Like I went through it with Joe and all the other officers and stuff, kind of clearing things up, making things a bit tighter because you can actually go upstairs and etc, stuff like that. So now Pinata Assassins and the Kigurumi are officially joined up together against the Doge mercenaries. The evil chickens I haven't actually put into the plot yet. Technically, none of us know that they've hired the evil chickens, but we will end up getting into that eventually. So otherwise, I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, I would very much appreciate if you could duke in the like button for me, share, favorite, and subscribe to join Team Pixel. Sign on, stay epic, everybody.
Believe in yourself.